Don't paiseh, show your face. What a motto.
Clip that.
If I don't try it now, at the age of 26, when am I going to try freelancing, right? Make content that you like. Don't force yourself or don't copy other people. Like, oh, she did well. Let me copy her. It's not going to work. Let me tell you, 100% of the time, it's not going to work. 我也想要做 content 啊，我想要做 freelancer 啊。
你来做看？
啊，讲很爽哦！哇，你每天可以在家11点醒来啊，that kind of things like that. Imagine how many potential opportunities that I actually missed out just because I didn't say hi. Yeah.
Right, before we move to the next topic, I just pick this up. You are an I.
Yeah, I'm an introvert. Okay, actually I'm an ambivert. Okay, I'm an ambivert.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the A to Z podcast. And today we are talking about the A to Z's of content creation with Wei Shan. All right. So interestingly, 1 year ago, back in March last year, she was actually going to leave her job. And we actually met up in a cafe and we actually discussed about how would she want to leave her job and go into content creation full time. Yeah, it's 1 year, this March as well.
Yeah.
1 year later today, she's a full-time content creator, freelancer, and also, I would say, influencer. I would say she influenced a certain degree. She has worked with quite some interesting influencers as well. So today we're going to talk about that, share her story, and Wei Shan, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
First things first, you are not from a marketing background kind of person, right?
Yeah, I'm not.
You were like audit.
Yeah, accounting, finance.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. How does someone go from like really numbers and this kind of technical place to creative, content creation? How does one start?
Okay, I think for me, all this while, since I think high school or college time, I have been making content and doing a lot of marketing related stuff.
Okay.
So actually, fun fact, in college, I was actually studying foundation in arts.
Okay.
So that means that I was doing like marketing management, business related kind of subject. Fun fact, right? And then after that, in my first year of uni, I actually went to business studies. So I took that degree up, but after a while, I felt like, okay, let me just try to step out my comfort zone. So I took up accounting and finance, which I did not have any foundation in. In high school, I was like bio student.
Oh, science.
Yeah, science stream. Yeah. So that was a little bit of a jump for me, but I felt like I wanted to do something more practical, something a little bit out of my comfort zone. So that's why I took that leap of faith.
I think quite interestingly, like I wanted to study. I want to do engineering.
Oh yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah. Then I went to foundation, and then I do foundation in science.
Okay.
And then I realized I couldn't do chemistry.
Oh really? I like chemistry.
Yeah,
Chemistry is nice.
Yeah, chemistry I just cannot. And then I was like, I went to the admin. I was like, I'm gonna switch to arts. I'm not gonna. So ever since then, it's just been
arts related.
Yeah, arts related. Then, so I was looking at your. I don't know. Sometimes I stalk people's LinkedIn.
Okay.
Right. Then, Shopee.
Yeah.
So
okay,
can you share
so
a bit more about that?
Shopee, yes, I was from Shopee. But a little fun fact, after I graduate, I went to audit first, so in KPMG. And then actually the audit intern was for me to confirm that I did not like audit. So it was more like a get it out of my mind, let me just try it out. And then after I know that it's not for me, I can, peacefully go into like content or like marketing related kind of degree. And also, not degree, but like job. And then after that, so I went to Shopee and I actually was in a position in Shopee Food Marketing Campaign Associates.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my first full-time job. And the job there was like doing marketing related stuff, like campaign related stuff. Yeah, so nothing to do with accounting finance. But though the degree did help me a bit because I did need to have to do some budgeting and also like some finances for like campaigns. So that helped me a little bit. But mainly I'm still doing like campaigns related kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. So your resume is quite interesting. Ex-KPMG, ex-Shopee. And then afterwards you actually ventured into the
smaller
agency.
marketing agency.
So how was your experience there and like how did that shape you?
Okay. I think after like 2.5 years, I went to a small marketing agency firm. I think the experience there was quite nice because the reason why I changed my job from like a Shopee big company, e-commerce, to like a small marketing agency is because I wanted to learn from like smaller entrepreneurs or like startup business. Because I think I had this mindset where I really want to try to do something on my own. Like I don't want to be working for people for the rest of my life. That was like my mindset. So that's why I took, step out of my comfort zone, and I was like, okay, bye Shopee. Thank you for the benefit. Thank you for everything. I'm just going to go to a smaller firm. And I did. And then after 9 months, the company wasn't doing so well. So
then that's when you reached out to me, and then we had that.
Yes, then we had that talk. So that's
Right.
like the timeline. Yeah, and then after that, ever since, I've been doing freelancing and content creation until today. So
Okay.
yeah.
I think moving back to last year when we met up for coffee and everything, what was the tipping point? So actually at that time, she was still deciding.
Yeah.
Right. What was the tipping point that made you say, fuck it, I'm out. I'm gonna do it on my own.
Okay, I think, how do I say it? Okay, so at that time, I did have a active social media account, and I think I was active on Instagram and Xiaohongshu, and also TikTok. But TikTok is like brain rot stuff lah. But mainly like for
Go watch it. Go watch her.
no, it's like brain rot stuff. I don't know what I'm doing there. But then it's like on IG and Xiaohongshu. So I was quite actively also taking on campaigns and so on. So I had like some campaigns lah, right, basically. And then at that point, my manager actually offered me like he wanted me to like manage the Page EP project, if you remember.
Yeah.
It's basically like a little like street interview matchmaking type of content. So he was saying that I'll give it to you, but I wouldn't hire you as a full-time anymore. So it's kind of like I'm giving you this page, but then I won't be paying you anything. So to be very transparent, at that time, I was thinking like, I already have my own profile. So why not I just build my own profile and focus on my own page rather than take on a new page. So that's why I felt like, okay, if my boss believed that I can do it, I believe that I can do it too. So that was like my POV. So that's why I was like, okay, let me just try it out. So yeah.
So how long did it take for you to, I mean, you have some campaigns going on, but how long did it take for you to say, oh, this could really work, this could be my full-time thing. I could do this.
Okay, I think quite lucky for me. I think like the second month after that, I think because I'm quite lucky and quite blessed, I guess, because I have a lot of people around me who's like always like offering me like jobs and campaigns. Whether it's like campaigns like short term for my content or like full-time jobs. Even my ex-manager, she like reached out to me. She's like, hey, I have this job. Do you want to go full-time? And even like my ex-company like Shopee, they were like, oh, we can like happily recruit you back. But to me, I felt like if I don't try it now, at the age of 26, when am I going to try freelancing, right? So that's why I politely turned it down. And yeah, so after that, I just knew that there was a lot of opportunities, and then freelancing opportunities were coming to me, a lot of like brand campaigns as well. So at that point, I was really working very hard. I was really like trying so hard to like juggle everything between like freelancing, content, and so on. And yeah, I think at that time I was like managing like 4 to 5 clients, like freelancing itself. On top of like the other like campaign brands, it was quite overwhelmed for me. But the more you do, the more you earn. I think that's like freelancing, right? So the more campaigns you take up, the more you earn. So at that point, at like the second to third month, I was like, oh, I'm actually earning more than my full-time job. Although it's a bit tiring, but it's possible, right?
It's something
possible.
that's yours.
Yeah, and it's mine. Like I earn it. Like, everything is like my profile and like my portfolio. Like everything 我赚到完, right? So I think at that point I was like, oh, I think this can be a legit full-time thing for me. Yeah.
I think that was the same thing I felt as well. It's like you do a few clients and you realize, it's more than my full-time income, right?
Correct.
You can, right? But okay, so I'm curious about this question. I always put it up. What is the biggest difference that you felt from moving from working in corporate, at agency to running your own freelancing on the side? Because you still manage the same amount of workload, but what's the biggest difference?
Oh, obviously the team. Like I like Pao Kaliao one-man team. I think you have experienced that as well, right? So I think the most like different that I feel is that you are on your own. A lot of things you need to, sendiri tanggung jawab. You have to be responsible for your own job. If you take on a certain campaign, if you do anything wrong, everything is on you. And I guess like for creative industry, there's like this thing called like creative block, where sometimes you're like, oh, I have no ideas anymore. So last time when I was in full time, I felt like, people could still give me input, right? People could still share with me and say, hey, how about you try this direction? How about you try this video instead? But now I'm all on my own. So everything I need
it's
to...
on you.
Yeah, it's on me. So I have to either like really try something new or try something that I like, but also like get inspiration online and so on. So that's like, I need to like kind of find a balance in between everything, right? And I don't want to also pressure myself too much, because there was a point in time where I felt a bit burnt out. like me trying out content that I didn't really like just because like the brand told me to do, and then the engagement wasn't that well and stuff like that. So it was quite mentally exhausting for me. And I think it's quite common in like the content creation industry where engagement rate is like everything, right? So at that point I was like, oh my God, I'm stressing myself. I'm doing so many work, doing so many content, but like the engagement rate is not it, and so on. So at that point I was like, oh, I need to restart. And I think this was around November. So it was like around 5 to 6 months in already. So I was doing a lot, but engagement rate wasn't there. I wasn't really like happy with my work and so on. And then in December, I decided to take a break. Like not say like fully take a break, but more like I don't want to take on so many campaigns. So in December, I was just like focusing on my freelancing and also try to find time for myself. So I kind of relaxed a bit, and then January is where I like continue to take on brands again. Yeah, so I think for me, since I'm doing freelancing and also content creation, at least I have the flexibility to be able to say, oh, I'm gonna stop this brand campaign for now and let me focus on freelance. Because the freelancing there is like a certain amount of fixed income for me because I'm on a contract basis as well. So it's quite nice to have that as a safety net, as compared to a full-time. Because I think freelancing, you can actually work on your own time, right? According to your own time, where you want to work, when you want to work, right? So that is better compared to full-time for me personally.
Right. So this episode is brought to you by Niju Cafe. So they are the top 10 cafe rated by Tatler readers in SS2. So they have sponsored our coffee for today. So do check them out. And back to the podcast. Right. And I think there's not one thing you mentioned is burnout when you come. You got those creative blocks. How do you reset? I'm actually very curious. So I have that sometimes as well, you know, and then like I have ideas for content. I don't have the block, but for me to execute it sometimes, that's...
Yeah, it's like you need the motivation to like, oh, I don't want to shoot today, right?
Yes.
I get that too.
How do you actually overcome that? How do you take your break?
For me, I think I have to plan in advance because I'm a planner. I'm like an INFJ, so the J in me is very strong. Okay, so I need to plan in advance. So if I know that I am already feeling very tired, I'll make sure that, okay, maybe 1 month from now, let me take a break. But I need to make sure that my finances are enough. So that's why I'm only taking a break when I have contract basis going on. But let's just say if next month I don't have any contract basis or any fixed retainer, then I'll be like, okay,
I gotta work.
I gotta make myself work. If not, it's not gonna happen. Because I think one thing for content creation, the payment terms is actually quite long. It's like
delayed.
30 to 90 days, right? Sometimes. So I think beforehand, I also plan like, okay, if I know that if I'm gonna take a break now, if I'm not gonna work, I know that like a campaign that I did a while ago would be able to cover me for this month.
So that's where your accounting background comes into, right?
That's my accounting finance degree, slay.
Smart.
Yeah, so I think a lot of planning, and I think it's a bit more important to plan, especially when you're doing freelancing, right? Because I think in a full time, you just get paid like every month, right? You don't need to worry about it. Your EPF, your tax, everything, your PCB, right? Everything is like settled. But for us, we need to make sure that we have like a fixed income. And then if you want to contribute to your EPF, you need to make sure you hit like that amount of goal that you set yourself, right? And so on. So there's a lot of like behind the scenes finance and accounting stuff that we actually do.
Because if you're a freelancer or content creator, basically anyone in the gig economy, you're not just doing your work. Right? You're doing accountings, you're doing operations,
admin
all the documents.
All
admin.
the receipts and stuff
You're
like
the
that.
salesperson as well.
Yeah, correct. You're the BD. Basically, you bao ka liao. Everything.
Right.
Yeah, and even you have to make your content yourself. You need a script. You need to like think of ideas and stuff like that. So, but anyways, back to the question. I think
it's okay. I was curious about that as well because it's something that I'm also... it's a challenge that I face as well. But I think like going back to just now the question they asked, what's the how do you reset, you know? I think like sometimes it's a mental block, not so much of
a physical.
Yeah.
I think for me, I take a holiday, right? I'm going to China soon. So take a holiday, and I think for me, I'm quite lucky to have like a good support system. So I think my partner, shout out to you, right? Daryl. Okay, so shout out to him. He's always there for me whenever like I'm feeling down. And I think for me, because I'm also like a people pleaser, so I need to make sure that I perform well. So sometimes it's very exhausting for me, like, you know, the perfectionist mindset where I need to keep doing good and doing well, right? So every time he will like come in and step in and say, you're doing fine, you're doing fine. So it's like the assurance that I feel an INFJ needs. Like it's like, okay, I'm doing well. Let me reset. Okay, then I take a good night's sleep, and after that I wake up and like, okay, I feel a bit better. So I think for me, I bounce back quite quick. Yeah.
Right, before we move to the next topic, I just pick this up. You are an I.
Yeah, I'm an introvert. Okay, actually I'm an ambivert. Okay, I'm an ambivert. I used to be an E, but now I'm an I. But I feel like I can switch mode and I yap a lot. So that's why a lot of people say I'm an extrovert.
Yeah. So it just hit me. I'm like, wait, did she just say she's an I? Wait.
Yeah, I can switch modes.
But I think like a lot of people would think that content creators are naturally
Oh, no,
E people.
no, misconception.
Yeah, but I realized actually a lot of content, they're actually
the
I.
introverts, yeah, a lot of friends. Like the time when I went for an event, right, everybody was just. It was so funny because that time there was an event. Then I sat next to someone. I went alone. She went alone. We just she just like sat down. Hi. And we didn't say anything. We just like, hi, my name is Wei Shan. We just like, hi. And then we just wait for the event to end. It was so funny. But then sometimes like I do feel like, oh, okay, I need to shoot my shot. I need to like network. So sometimes I'll be like, okay, let me walk back to the place. Hi, I didn't get your name. Then I try my best to like, Wei Shan, you need to get your shit together. Sorry, yeah, you need to get your stuff together, right? So that is like a push that I need to also do lah. But let's say if the environment is filled with extroverted people and if they talk and if they like ask me questions, I would engage back. So I think that's where like my ambivert is.
Right, so you need to be engaged for people to...
Yeah, if people reach out to me, then I'll be like, oh yeah, I can share. What do you want to know? You want to know about me? Yeah, let me share.
So you need to show... People need to show interest in...
Yes, correct. If not, I'll be like...
Don't...
Are you interested? Like, maybe not. Okay, I'm a...
You overthink certain things, right?
INFJ stuff, overthink. Yeah, that's so true, yeah.
But maybe one thing is, how do you overcome that kind of awkwardness, that kind of block to actually go out and talk to people?
I think I just like, okay, Wei Shan, it's just 2 hours. After that, you can rest. So
can
I just
crash.
like, I can crash and then I can like, have however long me time I want. It's just an event. Let's just say nice thing to nice people, say hi and stuff like that, and then just let it flow. But naturally, I think I'm quite... I still have my extroverted trait in me, like especially when I'm around people. But then I still like to be alone a lot of the time. But let's just say if I'm in an event where you need to, talk to people, socialize, then I would still talk. I wouldn't like shy away from it, right? And I think one thing about me, I don't know whether like you notice, but people around me do tell me that I'm actually quite a yapper and I'm a natural yapper.
Like
yeah, natural yapper. So it wouldn't be too awkward. Right, because I think I have like the ability to like make you not feel too awkward.
I mean, you keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Right.
So even if it's not about me, I'll like ask you like, oh hi, how about you? You've been in like Instagram for how long? In the industry, how long?
Yeah, there's a lot of things
Yeah,
to
then
talk
they'll
about.
talk. Then I'll just like, yes. People like to talk
some
about
more.
themselves. Yeah, that kind of thing like that. So I think that's how like the things go lah. But sometimes you just have to take note that you're in an event. Sometimes socializing is good as well. Networking is good. Because actually, fun fact, like that girl that I talked about, like the event just now where we didn't say anything, she actually reached out to me afterwards and say, hey, I have a job for you. And we didn't even exchange names. So I feel like, imagine how many potential opportunities that I actually missed out just because I didn't say hi. Right? So that's why I felt like, sometimes you gotta step out of comfort zone and,
just say hi.
Just say hi, just say hi.
No, I think that's one thing that I read about. Before you go to any networking event, just have a list of common questions that you can ask everyone and then just get them to talk about it and everyone remembers you.
Yeah.
Right? So that if you're introvert, that is something that helps.
Yes, correct.
Right.
And people like to talk about themselves. So if you don't know what to say about yourself, ask them questions like, hey, how do you come here today? Do you drive? Yeah, and all. Yeah.
So you just probe until you find like a common.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Yeah, that's the easiest way, I guess.
And okay, so just now you actually mentioned going to China. You went to China, and is it the same trip with the influencers and?
Oh, it's a different trip.
It's a different trip.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm actually curious, like when you go out with this kind of influencers, I see it's very interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people like always ask me,
Right, so sometimes we get starstruck. Like you see them on their vlogs or another time. Then suddenly,
oh my god, Wei Shan, you're going to like your Meiho's vlog, and so on. Yeah.
So how was the experience there?
Oh, it was fun. But actually, I do have to admit, I actually have a cousin that's also a KOL, Jia Yun with 6N, also from Penang, right? And then so she's actually a KOL. So I did have her to actually engage in me to say like, hey, do you want to be my +1 for this trip? So I was like, yeah, sure, of course, why not? And at that point, I was just trying to help her out with her content and all. But she also said like, oh, you can like shoot your vlog and anything you want to do. So once she said that, then I'm like, okay, let me just, document the trip and stuff like that. Because I think it's also like a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? And which I did, and everything was good lah. And yeah, people, they're very nice. Like Meiho, Ellen, and Elise, everything, they're very nice, right? And yeah, and I'm on their vlog now. and they're also on my vlog, so...
I mean, it's a very interesting experience because
yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah,
I used to do like travel for. I used to do work for travel agency as well. It's quite fun, but when you travel and you work and you travel alone, it's actually very tiring.
Yeah, correct.
So.
Correct. And especially when you make content.
Correct. Especially when you make content about when you go to a certain place, you need to think about, what's this place about? What do you need to talk about this place? What do you need to showcase? What are we doing?
Yeah.
So how do you actually come out? Do you come out there on the fly, or you have a certain framework, or do you actually plan out everything from A to Z before you go?
I got no framework one. I just treat it like documenting my life. Really, just like, okay, so today we are here at blah blah blah. Yeah, over here got what ah? Oh yeah, the sky very nice, the tree very nice, that kind of things like that. And then I'll be like, oh, the food, okay, the food, oh, it looks so good, interesting. So anything that I feel like I want to share at the moment, I'll share, right? But I don't have a framework really. It's just really more for me to actually look back and say like, oh, I've been to this place before. And or maybe like sometimes it's also useful for some people. So sometimes I'll be like, okay, if you want to come to this place, for example, you need to buy a card, for example, to buy food and so on. So these are the little things that I would share, which I feel like at that point, like, oh, I didn't know this. Let me just yap on camera about it. Yeah, so I think I don't have a framework for my travel vlogs. It's just me doing stuff. And I think same goes to, I think Meiho, they are as well. I think one thing that I noticed is that they are really like cohesive, like a team. So they really work well together. Whether they have prepared beforehand or not, I'm not too sure. Because, we are our own, like, okay, I'll focus with my cousin. And then they're still doing their own content. Correct. Right? But I really do appreciate and really, really look up to what they do. Because they do it so naturally.
Yeah, that's what I say.
To the point where I feel like, do you guys really like not have any script? But... I'm like, whoa, this I'm not sure whether they have scripts or not, right? But
I mean, to a certain extent, like even for our podcast, we do prepare to a certain degree. But then everything else is just free flow.
Yeah, but I feel like if you have work and if it's like for a brand, I think most likely you would need to prepare some framework, right? Especially for brands to get approval and so on. So they probably did their homework as well, right? Yeah, but for me, I'm just there to document my life. There's for vibes. Yeah, there's no attachment. There's no I need to shout any brands. Yeah, so for me, it's quite chill lah. So I think travel vlogs for me is quite fun lah. Yeah, it's just a memory lah.
I mean, other than that, what are some other like interesting campaigns that you have done?
I mean, since we're on the topic of like talking about like influencers, like working with other influencers, I worked with Miss Chiwi before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was also for a YouTube video.
Yeah,
it's the Guess the Baby. Cringe. Okay, anyway.
I'll put the video there. Yeah, you can go and watch.
Yeah, wherever. Yeah, but it's quite cringe. Oh my god. Okay, so actually, fun fact, my friend works there. So
Your friend works everywhere. Your cousin works here. My
friends work there. This, that. Yeah, and I'm quite happy because I think the people around me work in content as well, right? So if I need any question, like for example, that time when I was looking for a freelancer, I had you, right? and I had a lot of friends. So if I have anything that I have issue with, I can reach out to them, right? So back to the Miss Chiwi one. Yeah, she invited me. It was a last minute kind of decision, but I was like, okay, let me just step out of my comfort zone and kind of help my friend out a bit. Right. Yeah, and that was very interesting. Got to know a few influencers as well. I was very shy because it's like also, I think, my second or third time like on this type of like, big lights kind of show, and it's like Miss Chiwi. So I was low-key fangirling, not gonna lie. I was like, wow. But actually when I went there, I just like, just no script, anything, just went in there and hi, my name is Cherry. And all. So it was a very fun experience. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
I think like when we look at influencers, or maybe let's say even for content creators, don't have to say influencers or freelancers, we always think, we had a cafe somewhere, we are on holiday. And I always tell people, dude, what you see is what I take for you. Okay?
Exactly.
I take the photo of that and I'm back to work for like the whole day kind of thing. So what are some misconceptions that people have about this?
I think for me so far it's still okay. I don't really get any like negative misconceptions so far lah, but I do get like those like, wow, you're so free, you
yes.
哇很爽 我也想
你
要做 content 啊，我想要做 freelancer 啊。
你来做看。
讲很爽哦，哇，你每天可以在家11点醒来啊。That kind of things like that, they were like, these are like the misconceptions, I guess. Okay, translate to English. But then, yeah, captions, yeah. But yeah, I think those are like the common misconceptions. But I mean, like to a certain degree, that's true, right? You have flexibility to your time, right? You can actually control what time you wake up. Whether like you're sick, you want to like, take a break, right? Which I think in a full-time job, you couldn't, right? Because you still have to make yourself to go to work. You got to wake up no matter like how late you went home yesterday, no matter how tired or how sick you are.
9.
Yeah, 9 you have to reach. You need to clock in. If not, your salary is like on the line, right? So I think that's like the biggest difference. So yeah, that is true to a certain extent, yes. But I also never show the part where like I work until like late night, where like I'm editing at like 10 or like 12, right? Just because let's say I have an event to go to, for example, so I want to wake up a bit later. So once I wake up later, that means I start my day later, right? So that's where like, everything gets pushed to the night time. And since I'm a night owl, I'm actually okay with that. And yeah, so for example, one campaign I've done with like Carlsberg that time, it was like an event. So I think I ended the event around like 11, but they wanted the draft on the same day. The video draft on the same day because they want me to post the next day because the event is a 2-day event.
Right.
So I was like, I went home, I need to remove my makeup, I need to edit my video, I need to record voiceover, I need to edit everything. I was like, baby, I'm so tired, I just want to sleep. And then I was just there like editing until 3 a.m. Yeah, then 3 a.m. I submit the draft, and then after that the next day they were like, okay, post. So I'm like, okay, Tido. Then Tido again. So that time I was like, and they were like chasing me like at 12, 1. Where's your video? I just came back. I'm like 11. The event is at Western 2 and I have to go back to my place, which is like Kota Kebun. Then I'm like, hello, I reached home at like 12 and then I need to shower. No. Then I was like, oh, so stressful. So I think these are the things that people don't see and we don't share. Because I think for me it's okay because I'm actually making up time. So let's just say if in the morning I sleep more, I'm expected to work at night. Right. So it's like kind of to compensate that thing. So I think that's where the flexibility comes in place, where I can actually arrange my own time. But let's just say today if I'm doing a 9 to 5 job and if I take on this campaign, for example, I need to be in the office at 9 and then I have to 6, and then after that I need to get ready and I go to the event and then the next day I need to go back to work. Right. So I think that is some things that we don't share, right? But yeah, that is more that's like one of
I think sometimes people don't consider going to events as work.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a mix. It depends, right? If you're going there just like they invited you, for example, they don't require you to do anything. I think the content creator or the influencer has the choice to say no, right? So let's just say if you're already very packed, for example, if you know that you have a lot of things on your hand and you still choose to attend the event, right? I think that is also on the influencer itself, right? So be it whether you want to build connection with the brand or what's your purpose of going to the event, I still feel like sometimes you can also manage your own time. So let's just say if today I have a lot of campaigns and I know that like, I cannot make it to this event, I will make sure that I'll say, okay, I'll politely decline, like, I can't make it, right? So I think the thing that is a bit different from full-time and a like KOC, like influencers or freelancer, is that we have the choice.
You can pick
right?
what projects you want.
Yes, we can see whether we want to go or not. So if today I'm not feeling well, I can choose not to, right? But then if you're doing a full-time job, your boss asks you to go 应酬, you need to go 应酬, right? Even if it's after working hours, you still need to go, right? So I think that's the difference also lah. Like we have the choice. Yeah, which I think is quite, very fortunate that we have this, availability for us.
I think and then we're talking about misconceptions and everything. One thing that comes up is, you're content creators, making content very natural to you. I don't know what content to make. You're very easy. So, yeah, the laugh, we know lah. But what is your content creation process, or what gets you inspired, or is it actually that easy to make content?
Okay, for me, I think, yeah, it's actually quite easy for me to make content, I think. Because for me, I actually have this mindset where I want to just create content that I enjoy doing. So let's just say if I'm in the moment, I feel like recording something, I'll just... And then after that, I'll just see what footage I have, that I'll edit it out, right? Because I feel like the important thing in a content for me is the video editing. No matter how good you shoot with lights, camera, good mics, everything, if your editing skill is a bit lacking, it's also very hard to deliver the message or to get people's retention rate. Right? So I think it's important for you to know how to edit in a certain flow or a certain way that you know people want to watch. Right? So I think for me, editing, I've been editing for a very long time, and I've been editing a lot of short videos and so on. So I think I'm quite okay with that part. But sometimes I do follow like a few content creators as well. So I do look at their work and I feel that, oh, this is a very smart way of making content. For example, like we were talking about K Lau's video, right? So K Lau, he used like the Insta360 to shoot the content. So maybe for me, I'll be like, oh, that's a very interesting approach. I can adapt it to my own content, but maybe with a different type of style. So it's more like trying to learn from other creators and see what you can actually gain from it, or what you can actually adapt it to your own style. So for example, if I'm doing vlog, maybe today I can use like the 360 to like film my own vlog, something different, something fresh. But let's just say if I don't like that, maybe there's another creator, for example, like POV shots. So all of these shots are actually like, oh, maybe I can combine them together and so on. So those are the things where I get inspiration from, like looking at other people's content and say, hey, actually I can do that. But of course I need to buy the gadget lah, or like, or maybe I can just shoot like POV like this, right? It's also doable, right? But it's not as nice, but it's doable, right? You can make things work. Yeah.
Speaking about equipment, I think misconception, I don't know whether it's misconception or not. People think that you need a lot of gear to do content creation.
No.
Right.
I think your phone is enough. If you guys have an iPhone, it's definitely enough. I think you might need a mic, right? Especially when you're shooting outdoors. But even not, a lot of creators, they just like do this. They just like, hi, my name is... They just record from their phone. And after that, they just edit and then they just like, you know. But then let's just say if today you only have one phone, of course, it's better to get like the plug-in mic where you can just like, it's easier, right? But also that is also a luxury. That's also like an additional accessory, right? But then let's just say if you're like shooting at home, a lot of some of my contents, I don't even use my mic.
Oh, okay.
So it's really just a phone. Like, let's just say like I do reaction contents, right? So for example, like my boyfriend buy me stuff, or like people buy me stuff and I act surprised. I mean, I am surprised, right? Not act surprised. I am surprised, right? So I just like, oh, in the moment, I don't have my mic, anything. I just...
And then,
yeah. And even in restaurants where I'm trying something new, I'm like, oh, this is so interesting. I want to film this. No mic. I just, wow. And then I'll just make it work. So it's possible. You don't need like any fancy equipment. You don't need lights or anything. Tripod also sometimes you don't need. You just use like...
Just whatever,
like,
bottle
coffee,
like Niju coffee.
Yeah, Niju's coffee cup like that. Yeah, and then you just take a video, So you don't really need fancy equipment. Yeah, it's a dead end misconceptions.
I think like also... It gets very awkward sometimes when you shoot yourself talking in public.
Yeah.
Okay, so two ways. One is it's very awkward when you film yourself, and then sometimes it's very paiseh to film people, like you put the camera in people's face, kind of when you go to say.
Yeah. I think that one. The two questions here, right? The first thing, when you wanna shoot yourself, I think just don't be paiseh, right? If you want to make content, don't be paiseh. But I think the easiest way that I've come to terms with it is just treat it like you're documenting your life. So like, okay, I'm just gonna record my life for myself. So you don't care about other people.
Main
just
character energy.
Yeah, main character energy. Yeah, just put your phone wherever you need to and then just sit down and just get the shot, right? But sometimes when I do that, like let's just say I put there and I see people staring and I'm just doing my thing, like reading a book. Wow, so cool, right? Like, main girl energy. And then once I close it, I'm like, so you have clips of me like, yeah.
We should put those clips
out,
right?
Like the behind the scenes of the actual thing. So sometimes I still get paiseh, but you know, you really have to do it, right? If you really want to make content that you have in mind, you just have to not be paiseh. And the second thing is like filming other people. I think it's very important to get consent from them. And even like for some of my content or vlogs, I just say if someone's face is too obvious there, I would blur them out. I think it's just more like I don't want to get reported or anything. Because there was also a few times, like last time when I was in my full-time job, there was like a girl who came up to me and said, hey, can you like take the video down? Because like, you know, my face is in the video. But then the thing is, it's a brand campaign. We can't just take the video down, right? So it was a very on and off thing, which is like, okay, I'm so sorry, maybe 6 months later, you know, and stuff like that. Or like, we can say like, oh, maybe, I don't know, like... Yeah, so it's very hard. So I rather be careful not to really feature other people, or I just ask them for their permission, like, oh, hey, I'm going to be filming this. Can you be in the shot? Are you okay? If not, then could you like, move a bit, or maybe I'll just adjust my camera a bit. Yeah, so I think that's like one thing. It's very important to get consent, right? You can't just like, hey, let me just... Unless today you're like a group of content creators, I think naturally people were like, oh, they said you're fang lipstick. Yeah, very normal. Yeah, but then if it's like other people, like let's just say friends, I still ask them like, I'm gonna post this. Are you okay with this? Yeah, I would still do that lah.
And sometimes I'll give my friends a heads up that, hey, I'm vlogging today, or
Ah,
you know.
yeah, same.
Or
Yeah,
else
same.
sometimes my friends will be like, 做你没有跟我讲
Yeah, 我今天穿美一点啦，我今天穿这样丑，穿 T-shirt 不了。Yeah, it's very
我
normal.
没有化妆嘞
我 lipstick 没有带嘞。Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very common lah. But then, yeah, I will do that as well. I'll be like, hey, I'm going to, this is like reading community. Do you want to join me? Oh, yes. Oh, by the way, I'll be filming. Really? Okay lah. Then I really kind of get the gist that she don't want to be on camera. So I'll try my best to take shots without her.
I mean, yeah, so that they know that you are filming, and then you know that they want to be filmed as well.
So you can kind of get the vibe.
I think, okay, so I think with friends is fine. This is a personal question of mine. Let's say you go to a shop, right? And you are not close with the owner, or you don't have any collaboration, but you want to feature this shop. It's like, oh, this is an interesting place. Do you reach out beforehand, or do you just walk in and take videos while you are asking consent, or what? How does that?
I think usually I don't really make it like so promotional vibes. I think brands do like free exposures, right? I think even if you just like, oh, today 这个面包
Yeah, something that just came up.
Yeah, just came out there. I'll just shoot it and then I'll just like tag them, right? And I think like same goes for my vlogs as well. I'll do like mention them, because people ask like, oh, where's this place, right? Is the food good? Is the matcha good? And I'll just say like, oh yeah, it's not bad, it's good, So these are all also kind of say free exposure for the brand, right? But let's just say if today I want to like really go to their shop, I want to do like a full on like food review, then I think it's better to
engage them.
to engage in them first beforehand. Like, hey, I'm gonna do this. Like, are you comfortable with this? Who knows? Maybe they'll give free food also, right? So, you never ask, you never know, right? But a lot of the time, because I'm not really doing food content,
right?
So sometimes if I really do food content, it's really because I really like it, or like I just want to just show that I'm enjoying it and so on. So it's not really like, okay, hi boss, can I interview you? It's more like I'm gonna record myself at the corner of the restaurant.
Right.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah.
And then with this kind of brands, like at the end of the day, some of them we want to get paid for our work as well, right? Not to say somewhere. If we can get paid, we want to get paid.
Of course, yeah.
Right. So, but what is a good range, or how do you judge how much do you charge them, or what's the payment, or you kind of?
Oh, I think the rate, right?
Yeah, the rate. Oh my god,
yeah. I think market rate for like KOCs and KOLs are quite
like there's a big gap between.
Yeah, there's a big gap. Yeah,
and
I think like maybe when you are a bigger KOL, like influencer, like really well established, I think probably you have like a rate card already on hand, and because you have like your team to feed, right? So your videos will naturally be a bit more expensive, right? So putting aside like bigger KOLs, we talk about like smaller KOCs. I think a lot of the time brands would naturally just reach out to you. Hey, I have this campaign. My rate is this. How much? But the rate is actually very, very low for a video. Like I don't know.
What's average you get?
100, 200-ish. It's a bit sad, right? But I think personally for me quite low. But then I would usually tell them like I don't want to take on this type of job because it's a bit too low, right? And I think for me, since I'm a freelancer and a content creator, I don't have a full-time job. So every moment counts. Like it's time cost, right?
Correct.
So if I'm going to focus on your campaign and your video, and if you're gonna pay me this little, I would like politely say no lah, right? But I did have a lot of brands who are okay with my rate that I set out. Yeah, but of course it's not like thousands and all lah. It's still in the 100 range, but it's definitely more than what
I mean, at the end of the day, it's quality.
Yeah, correct.
Right,
correct.
I can pay cheap, and you can just shit out a video.
Yeah, correct. Because I think it's important to know your value as well. Because I think for me, I do know that I put in a lot of effort in my videos, and there are some videos where I really kind of know the pattern, where I know which video will do well, right? And let's just say if today you want to engage in my reaction type of videos, like very like natural kind of content, I know that those videos will do well, like on Xiaohongshu especially, right? So if you're gonna pay me like so little, I would like politely say no lah, because other brands are willing to pay me my rate as well, right? And they want me to do the same thing. So how many surprises can I have? Right? For example, like, I don't know, like let's just say today there's like 5 brands who want to engage with me in Valentine's. Like, my boyfriend can only give me 1 time, right?
Can he surprise you once?
Yeah, he can surprise you. Like, okay, let me surprise you 5 times, right?
You should put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how to say it like in a more like layman terms, but that's like the
I mean, I think comes back to the matter of choice.
Yeah, opportunity cost. Like,
yeah. So you can choose to. One is, can you choose to pick up the job or not?
Yes.
And
correct.
whether that job is worth your time, because you can use to be doing other things as well.
Yes, correct. So like value and time cost, right? Yeah. So I think it's just that lah.
Right, and then I think last few questions that we have is maybe what are some of the challenges when it comes to becoming a freelancer and content creator 1 year in, like now? Like what's currently the things that you're facing?
I think I just now mentioned about like the timeline, right?
Right.
I think some campaigns they have very tight timelines, especially like when it's an event type of job. Sometimes they want you to like post the content like on the day itself. They want you to get approval on the day itself and so on. But there are also like some campaigns where they really demand you, okay, I have this campaign today, I confirm you today, you send script today, can I'm like, but I need time to ideate. I need time
You
to
think
rest.
this one? I think I checked GPT.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I said cannot lah. Then I said like, maybe like 2-3 days. They said, no, but timeline until this Friday, dear. I need you to send.
Then
by
payment
this
also
Friday.
this Friday.
Yeah, lor. So but then payment 60 days, right? So sometimes I'm also like a bit like, but I've come to found out that actually this is quite normal because I was also from marketing agency. So I'm guilty for this, like rushing my creators like, hey babe, I know it's my last minute, but can you do it today? I'm sorry, babe. So I'm guilty for that. So I know that's how like the industry runs usually, right? And usually when there's a campaign, it's either they really plan beforehand, or if not, like those leftovers, right? They will just like fill it up with random creators. Which sometimes I also kena like, hey, your campaign is this week. Can you like submit this week? But actually, I have another friend who like done it like 1 month ago, prepare 1 month ago. So I think these are like where maybe they feel like, oh, some creators drop out, so they want to like substitute. So I think it makes sense. But for me, since you want me to do last minute work, then I'll just like bump up my
There's a last
amount.
minute fee.
Yeah, last minute fee. Yeah, because I think it's normal, right?
Yeah.
So I do that sometimes. So I think that's one of the challenges. I think managing like the campaign timeline, and just imagine if let's just say today I'm like handling like 3 to 4 jobs at the same time. And they're like, babe, can I have it this week? Babe, can I have it like this week? So it's like, okay, which one can I choose? How can I like reply and like so on?
Yeah, the prioritization.
Yeah, the prioritization. And also I think because I'm also doing the BD part, I'm doing the sales part, and I'm doing the ideation, I'm doing the shooting, the everything.
Everything.
So everything basically. So like my calendar, let me just like, it looks like this.
Yep. Looks very familiar.
Yep. Right. So I think that is where the challenge is, managing your time, and especially I have freelance on top of it. So I need to really juggle between those two lah. And yeah, sometimes I seem free. It's because I choose to be free.
Yeah.
Because if not, I'm gonna go crazy.
Die, man.
Yeah, imagine I'll be like, oh my god, I know every day I have to like edit a video, but I try to like separate a bit. So I don't like, that one day I like want to
Damn
bounce.
stress, right?
Yeah, damn stress, I know. And then like sometimes when you are in the headspace where you cannot like, function anymore, your work will be affected lah. Yeah.
I think also another challenge I'm curious is how do you manage your health?
Okay, so health. Okay, I'm using ClassPass.
So funny enough, before you start promoting ClassPass.
No, it's not sponsored. I paid for my own ClassPass.
I think a lot of people say, hey, you're freelancers, a lot of time to
go Pilates.
Go Pilates. I see you Pilates or what? All those working hours, then I will go sports as I'm working. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on that?
Hey, hello, we are using the time, we are choosing our own time to do it like during working hours. So, people who have a 9 to 5 can enjoy the gym or like the Pilates class afterwards, right? We're so considerate. No, but seriously, I think for me, I stay quite far. So I really want to avoid the peak hour. Unless like today I'm going with my friends where they can only do after working hours, then I'll demand them. But if I am going on my own, I'll try to find time that's not during the peak hour. Right, not in the AMs or not at the 6 to 7 PM one, unless it's nearby my house or if there's no jam, or if like so happen I'm at that place, right? But if not, let's just say if today I'm very free, I just want to go for exercise, of course I'll choose the 2 PM class, right? If there is a choice, right? So at least I can settle my thing by 3 and then go back, I can shower and then I can start my work, right? As compared to being stuck in the jam for like 1-2 hours, right? So yeah, I think I'm doing you guys a favor.
We take some cuts off the jam time.
Correct. I think it's just like how you use your time efficiently lah. Because I think we have a lot of things to do. So for me, I think that's the most efficient way that I can come about it lah. Yeah.
I think same like we move around the timing slots.
Yeah, correct. It's not like a fixed slot. Yeah, so which is again back to creators having choice, like freelancers having choice.
When you work, I go to Pilates, I go to the gym.
Yeah, but when you rest, I work.
I work, right?
It's the same thing. Yeah. So.
Okay, there are some questions that we have from your followers that you put up a poll on yesterday.
Yeah.
So there's this question that was asked that when you do freelance and all this, do you start out on your own completely, or do you have actually someone that helps you, guides you, maybe someone like a mentor?
Okay, to be frank, I think when I started out, it was really solely on my own. But I do, just now I mentioned I have like a cousin, also a KOL cousin. So when I have any questions about like payment or anything, or like anything that's like in the norm of like influencing and content creating, I'll reach out to her, right? So, but she's not really my direct mentor. She's just like there if I have any questions. Like for example, like freelancing, I come to you, right?
By the way.
Yeah, by the way, hey, since you're my cousin, let me just hit you up, right? But then in terms of like what I want to do, or like, how I want to come about this journey of like, transitioning to content creation and freelancing is up to me. I don't think I have a mentor, but I do have support system. Like, my boyfriend and my friends around me giving me opportunities. But if you say mentor, yeah, I'm
So
my
it's really
own mentor.
figure out yourself.
Yeah, it's really, I just throw myself under the bus and like, oh my God. Yeah.
Ah shit, I got hit. Okay, let's not walk here next time.
Yeah, let's not go under the bus next time. Yeah, that kind of thing.
All right, so last question. What advice would you give to aspiring content creators who would like to start today?
Don't be paiseh, I guess like you don't be paiseh. I think just if you really like to make content, or if you really like to edit videos, or like maybe just create stuff, don't be paiseh lah. If you are a bit shy, you don't want to show your face, I think it's okay to start without your face, right? You can make content of, let's just say, your food, right? You can just take video of the food, maybe a static post also is also content creating, right? Or maybe you can just go about your day and then just document whatever you like. And I think the mindset is just, just document your life. Treat it as you're documenting your life. If you're not comfortable to post it, maybe don't post it first. Like maybe in 1 month time, you'll be like, okay, I really like this video. I feel a bit confident. I'll post it, right? And I think content creating is not a very fast thing where you're like, okay, I finally got a formula. I know what I'm going to go viral for. Unless today you're doing some things like controversial, right? But if today you're doing like really based on your own character and 你很自然的那种 content, I think it takes time, right? So don't rush it. Don't rush it, and then just let the flow go and learn from it, right? If today this content do well, maybe you can try to study why it does well. If it don't do well, then you know that okay, maybe it's because it's a different platform. And another advice, I think, because I'm on Instagram and Xiaohongshu, different platform has different content style. So let's just say if you have brands who say I want to sing content like Instagram and Xiaohongshu, usually I'll just say like, oh, it's very hard for me to sing unless you are willing to pay a bit more, because I can make subtitles and all, because Xiaohongshu is very Chinese based, and Instagram for me at least is a very English platform for me, because I think my friends around me, there's also like a lot of like non-Chinese people following me, so I do like try my best to like cater to both. Yeah, but remember that, don't be shy, and be comfortable, make content that you like. Don't force yourself, or don't copy other people. Like, oh, she did well, let me copy her. It's not gonna work. Let me tell you, 100% of the time it's not gonna work, right?
All right, so don't copy, but be inspired.
Yeah, be inspired.
Take it as your own.
Yeah, take it as your own. Try to adapt it to your own style that you enjoy. And also, just I think study each platform. Like, Xiaohongshu is different from Instagram, it's different from TikTok, different from YouTube, and so on. So in the end, you can see which niche or which platform you want to focus on. Yeah.
Last question. Should you focus on one alone, or should you just actually blast?
Okay. I think for me, I focus on both, right? So I think that's where, like, for me, the time management is a bit because because I need to manage both platforms. I need to make sure that I'm posting on Instagram and Xiaohongshu, right? Unless you can manage that, I would recommend to have 2 different platforms with 2 different rates. So maybe like at this time, my campaign, I can charge two videos, right? As compared to 1 video itself.
Right.
So of course you get more, right? But again, you have to see whether you can manage, because everything you really do by yourself, right? And then sometimes you have to switch your brain. Okay, today I'm thinking for Xiaohongshu, not Instagram. Okay, Xiaohongshu, not Instagram. I need to make sure I cannot use words like RM and like, 最好 and stuff like that. So these are like the things that you need to really like switch very fast. So unless you feel like you can do it, then I think you can go for both. But I think for entry level, I really think Xiaohongshu is easier to enter.
Okay.
Yeah, fun fact, I think Xiaohongshu is easier because Xiaohongshu, as long as your content is a bit more real, more natural, people would actually like to see it. But for Instagram, I still have yet
very curated.
Yeah, very curated. It's very like either brain rot or like very like funny 搞笑 or
like
like
super educational
or
kind of.
very very random also, or super education or super random like today like 我放炮 and then like my 炮 like 飞去
yeah.
this kind of thing. How can you script that, right? So,
Auntie 顶着我的路。
yeah, auntie 顶着我的路 or this kind of things like that. So I think Instagram is still a bit tough. I do have a friend, I think you know her as well, but I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
who lah, right? But then she also have like trouble with Instagram as well. She keeps saying like, oh, she keeps posting, but she don't see like any like increment, anything doing like anything better and stuff like that. Then I just give her like this advice where I say like, you know, you need to really show your progress or document your whole face.
I
Like
think people want to be part of the journey.
yeah, correct. People want to be part of the journey, and I think sad to say lah, like on Xiaohongshu and all, with face you will do better. Like the algorithm will push people who have
A
face
face.
in their videos. So I think I told my friend to try that out, but she's still not comfortable with showing her face. So she'll work her way there.
Eventually, like you
Yeah.
figure out. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, if you're not shy and if you want to document your life, I
Don't
think
paiseh.
don't paiseh and just show your face. Don't paiseh, show your face.
Yeah.
What a motto.
Clip that.
Yeah, lah, but it's fun lah. But I think you just have to go through it yourself lah and see whether don't paiseh, show your
Don't
face.
paiseh. Okay. that will be the title of this one. Don't paiseh, show your face. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wei Shan, for coming on. If you like this episode, since you watched, you're in 50 minutes in. So if you watched to the end, don't forget to like and subscribe. All our links are in the description down below. You can check her out on IG, Xiaohongshu. Find her on LinkedIn as well if you want. Don't do that.
No, you can lah.
Yeah, and till next time, we'll see you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.